Hi there friends, how's it going? Today I'm excited to share the recipe that got me to actually like beans. A huge thanks to ChefClaude on allrecipes.com who gave me this recipe maybe 10, maybe 12 years ago. If you want to check his recipe out, it's called Refried Beans without the refry. Now I make these a little bit differently to ChefClaude. I use an instant pot, whereas he uses a slow cooker. I soak the beans, he doesn't. I use 3 teaspoons of salt, he uses 5 teaspoons. When I used to follow his recipe exactly, I just found it was way too salty for my taste buds. The way I cook them now, they could probably take 5 teaspoons, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, so now I start with less salt and add more later if I think it needs it. You can always add salt, it's a lot harder to take it out. Now let's get to the recipe, but please stay to the end as I'll be sharing 7 or 8 different meals I use these beans for. Let me know in the comment section which you like the look of best. You ready? Let's go. It's always a good idea to store these beans in their cooking liquid just to stop them from drying out. I store them in the fridge for about 5 or 6 days, and if I know I'm not going to use them all, I just put them in super cubes and freeze them in 1 or 2 cup portions, and then just get them out when I need them. So now that the beans are made, you get to choose your own adventure. First off, are you going to leave them whole, or are you going to mash them up? When I first started making these, I could only eat them if they were mashed, but now sometimes I mash them and sometimes I don't, depending on what I'm making. You can just mash them with a potato masher, but I don't have one, so I put them in the blender. You also need to decide what to eat them with. Here are a few ideas. My most frequent way of eating these beans is just with a salad. Mixed greens, a bunch of different veggies. I leave the beans whole for this, and then I add guacamole and salsa, which doubles as a salad dressing. I mix it all up, which isn't pretty, but it tastes so delicious. One of my favourite ways to eat these beans is in a toasted burrito. I take a flour tortilla, heat it in the microwave for about 10 seconds, spread on some refried beans, add whatever veggies I have on hand, salsa and guacamole, roll into a burrito, and then just toast on 4 sides in a pan on the stovetop. So delicious. Tostadas are easy and great if you want some crunch. I bake a bunch of corn tortillas in the oven at 350 Fahrenheit for 10 to 12 minutes. I turn them halfway and then keep an eye on them for the last couple of minutes. I add warmed refried beans, any veggies I want, along with either guacamole or my favourite creamy tomatillo dressing. You can turn these refried beans into a really delicious soup. To make it super simple, I just add a cup of my favourite salsa. Feel free to check out my video for my favourite salsa recipe. A cup of the refried beans, a cup of water and a teaspoon of bouillon. Some black beans, some corn and some bell pepper. I add a few extra spices, maybe smoked paprika, chipotle chili powder or chilies in adobo, and or some taco seasoning. And then I just mix it up with some salt and pepper if I think it needs it. I love to make a quesadilla every now and again with my pretend cheese sauce, refried beans, roasted red bell pepper and a sprinkling of chopped spinach. Served alongside my favourite salsa and guacamole. You can also make super quick taquitos. Mix the refried beans with some salsa, black beans and corn. Add in any extra spices you want. I'm adding some taco seasoning and some ground chipotle chili pepper. Spread in the middle of a corn tortilla, roll up tightly and put in the air fryer. Don't overfill these because they'll just open up. Cook at 400 Fahrenheit for about 8 or 9 minutes. Of course, you can just make a simple bean taco or two. I'm adding some taco seasoning to my refried beans. I'll heat it up, add it to a tortilla, along with anything else I feel like. I'm adding some purple cabbage, cilantro, and some of my 5-minute guacamole to these tacos. And then finally, it doesn't get much easier than eating them just as a dip with chips and salsa and guacamole. Feel free to check out my favourite salsa recipe video and my 5-minute guac video. Whichever plentiful adventure you choose, I hope you'll give these home-cooked, low-fat, refried beans without any fry a try. They're full of fibre, protein, complex carbs and a bunch of other goodies. Vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. Your body will be so grateful. Thanks so much for watching until the end. Have a wonderful week. Take care. Cheers.